You.
Hey guys, this is Pastor Caleb, and I'm here with Pastor George Markey again today to kind of do an update as we're getting ready for our Easter services. So, George, we're grateful to have you here. I know it's late for you tonight, but we wanted to give you an opportunity to share as we gather, for Easter services here in the States. Give us a little update on what has been going on there with you and your team.
Okay. Well, yeah, first of all, just happy Easter. I love this holiday, right? Just the celebration that Christ has risen and this new life, this new hope. Very encouraging for these times. But so God has been continuing opening doors for what we've been supplying, medicine and food. Maybe a quick word about medicine. We've been able to get a lot of insulin in and to places that really need it. And it's kind of given us a reputation, like people know that these guys are trusted, they can do it. So we've gotten even more requests now from some higher levels of the government. Also with thyroid medicine, there's been there's people that have suffered from the Chernobyl incident before, and so, but we've been able to get that in too. So, thank you for your support. Through this, we're really able to meet the needs that are there, and more people are seeking us for their needs. Also, as you know, that there was the area around Kiev. There's a lot of towns that were liberated, and with that, there was many people were coming out of their basements, and without the infrastructure down, they needed instant food. And because of the pipeline we've had, and we've been able to get now truckloads across into our warehouse in Ternopil, it was there, it was ready. And so these guys, that as they said, we had requests, we said, "Oh, come get it. It's at our warehouse." Now that it went really fast, and we've been now just scrambling to get even more in. But that was just a blessing to see that now, bearing fruit. And Yeah,
I think it's amazing because I think people hear these updates and maybe they think we're like a relief agency at times, but we are this network of believers, just churches that are working together. And now all of these churches in the States, people with their loaves and fishes, God's multiplied it. And now we've seen this fruit that's given trust, like you said, where the government's communicating needs and letting us know. I mean, you and I were just meeting yesterday and, talking about like there's probably $1 million worth of requests when it comes to aid, everything from trauma packs and the stuff like insulin and thyroid medication. And we're just like, well, we can pray and we can communicate it. But it just seems like daily God is opening doors. You were mentioning even just because of what we've been able to do, like the largest insulin provider in the world has begun asking, kind of sourcing to see maybe they might be able to provide some help. So God is moving, is what we are hearing just through the body of Christ.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Now, as we're thinking about some of this stuff, you mentioned Easter. Now, Easter, for America is this weekend, but for Ukraine, it's the following weekend. Tell everybody a little bit about Easter in Ukraine and how Ukrainians celebrate Easter and what that's going to look like. Yeah,
it's a huge holiday. And so they follow the Orthodox tradition. So it'll be a week later, be the 24th. But I would say it's their biggest holiday. It's very family oriented. So it's time when families get together and just, hang out and have dinner, have a lot of food together. But this will be the first Easter that these families are away. And these are a lot of times there's just children and moms, right? So they don't even have the whole family. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to just bless them during these holidays. They can connect again with their traditions and really show community. Something as a church, I think that we're called to do and we were equipped to do. So we're going to be doing some on the Saturday. We'll be doing some of these kind of classes for kids, master classes, so they can paint eggs, which is a Ukrainian tradition, bake special Easter bread, and sing songs. And then we're also want to invite in maybe a Hungarian group, that can do dances, national dances, to also to have this kind of international thing where these cultures are connecting, and there'll be, of course, plenty of tea and coffee and refreshments, and a lot of the Hungarians are going to be providing that. So just for a time we can sit down and connect, and hopefully our hope is that the local believers will then seize the opportunity and build relationships, and that'll be long term, and so we hope to see a continuation of this, but we see this as a great opportunity to really serve them, make them feel more at home away from home. And on Sunday too, we're going to be doing the whole service will be kind of dedicated to this celebration for them. We'll give a message, and of course, again, the resurrection, new life from out of death is just a big, I think it'll be a very message that will connect, and that is connecting. So we're looking forward. Our team's working overtime on this and getting all the pieces in place. And the Hungarian churches, they're ready to help the Calvaries, financially, so we can put this together.
I love it. I know that's part of this, the Seeds of Revival, is to see how the church there throughout Europe has really responded, embraced this opportunity to come alongside, Ukrainians. And, we're really just praying that God would pour out his spirit, as people grieve and weep and celebrate the hope of the resurrection. Now, coming up after Easter, you've been talking about maybe even an opportunity to get back into Ukraine. Obviously we've got guys with trucks going in every day. We've got supplies, we've got people on the front lines, but you've been having to do a lot of that from our headquarters in Budapest, but you've got a trip, maybe coming up where you can get out to some of the front lines and bring back some of these reports. Tell us a little bit more about that, so we can be praying, and asking for God's favor with that trip coming.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yes, there's a crew from Far Reaching Ministries. It's a Calvary ministry, and they're wanting to do some, shoot some stories, like get the stories here, what's been going on, so they can kind of raise awareness, in the churches, really focus on what the needs are, so that we can connect those people who want to help with the needs on the ground. And I'm excited that it looks like I'll be going into. I haven't been back. And I would just love to see that my people that are there, from our team, who are there doing an awesome job, just to encourage them, lift up their hands, pray with them, listen to their stories. And so I've already kind of touched base with them, and they're excited. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. And I know, as we talk about, just some of the safety with being able to get back in, we're so grateful that we've seen some areas of liberation. We're getting, obviously food and supplies, but that doesn't mean that things have stopped. We're still, we've become kind of a first responder, even the people who have been sexually abused, assaulted. We've been obviously getting some of those requests, moving those people out into safe houses. We're still hearing about really traumatic, significant needs and brokenness, there on the East, which is also why you've been encouraging churches to prepare for the long haul. Maybe even those of us in the US filling up some containers. There's light at the end of the tunnel, but this is still a very dark time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Containers. We're thinking long term. So if you were a church would like to, prepare those containers so that we can meet the long-term needs of, there's going to be food shortages, continue food shortages and needs. There's going to be needs for rebuilding homes and stuff. But again, I don't want you to get the impression that the war's over. It's far from over. Ukraine's bracing for, probably an all-out attack in the east, and who knows what that's going to, end up like. There's probably could be another huge wave of refugees. There's going to be maybe even greater needs for medical, and food. So be praying for that. And we're also bracing for that and preparing, for that.
Yeah. So right now, obviously, to recap, we've been seeing supplies, medical and food going in every day, and the needs are increasing. So obviously, anybody who's wanting to partner with finances, or if they have connections, a company, someone that they know is like, hey, we're trying to get these resources in the right hands. God's just given you and the team favor with getting that to the right place at the right time. And then obviously we want to be praying for this Easter, so that all those that are displaced, might be able to celebrate the hope and the power of the resurrection. And obviously knowing that the war's not over, the needs are still significant. And we want to be continuing to hold up people's arms and prepare for the battle that's still ahead. Any closing thoughts, for the pastors and churches as we continue to hold up your guys' arms?
I think that was all. That's all good. And I just want to really appreciate your prayers and all your support. We're seeing, just once again, it's been a lot of hard stuff, but God has opened up so many amazing doors for sharing his love with others and sharing the gospel. So we think there's going to be even more as we just are the hands and feet of Jesus, meeting those needs and providing that community for being the family for these people that are away from home and away from their families.
Awesome. Well, George, we love you guys. Please give Sharon and the boys our love, and we'll continue to be praying for you as you're praying for us. And we'll get another update in the next couple of days as we get a chance to share the story of what God's doing. So thank you, George.
Thank you. Bye-bye.